Hello, welcome back to Grey the Gold Witch. Today we're doing a confidence boost, and I'm very excited for this reading. I think it's always good to feel that better, feel better, or just feel better. It's always good to feel better. So the first crystal we have is this pink guy. The second one is an orc agate flame. It's beautiful. This is raw. I don't know if raw is the right word, but it's angelite. Actually, it might be celestite. And then this is carnelian. Looking back on this must be rose quartz. So take a bit, meditate on what pile feels right for you, and I will see you there. Hey, pile 1, if you chose this rose quartz obelisk, then this is your reading on a confidence boost. So, 2 things before we begin. I was hearing MIA by Cat's Eye in my head. I go MIA, so low and so ho. So it's about, being with yourself, hanging out, and not needing anyone else, being the one to leave. And then earlier I couldn't stop thinking about flowers. Flowers everywhere. Flowers in Her Hair is a song by the Lumineers I used to love. And there's such an innocence to their music. Or at least I associate it with innocence, because when I listened to it, it was an innocent time in my life. So we're going to look at some pre-shuffled oracle cards to see what messages of confidence want to come out. So first we have the Unseen. What went through my mind immediately was, you are so protected. We have the Star. We have Keeper of Sharing. And we have the Beaver. Okay, I moved those around because this one the glare was on it. I'm thinking right now about 37, 17, 27. Okay, 17, 27, 37. There's something about 7s here, building on 7s. 7 in numerology has a lot to do with personal insight, going into oneself, really the knowledge of self and of the world being that number's journey. I always have loved the number 7 in numerology. I'm a life path 9, and I love 7s, and my best friends are 3s. I've dated 2s, but 7s I just really respect. I don't know what is up with that, but hear me out. I'm just telling you my truth. So I think that a confidence boost is, people want what you give. You are so generous, and random, but you have really pretty eyes. You're someone who knows how to make use or solve problems. I'm thinking about how a beaver makes dams as its home and knows how to work with the resources around them. And this card also is about taking on projects and staying in them in the long haul. And people see you as a very grounded, strong person. And they see, there's this feeling of mystery, this feeling of the unseen. When you're working with spirit, when you have spirit guiding you so closely, you have that air of mystery around you, which also the star has, that mystery. The woman of the cosmos is what the card says. And this woman's flying, I love that. I really see you being this star. Like you really being this person that people gravitate to. People can't help. It's like a star is attractive. You can't help but be pulled towards it. And for some reason, I just saw Artemis in my mind's eye. There's something about you only taking on things that feel solid, that feel you don't choose. You choose people in your life, you choose the things you do in your life very intentionally, and you take it very seriously. You have learned what matters to you. You've learned what matters to you, and you vibrate with the energy of excellence is what's coming to my head. You are I'm thinking about the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe right now. You make things come to life. I mean, look at this floating tree. The unseen, the magical, fairies, Santa, for some reason. The beaver. I was thinking about the beavers in Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and the star is also floating. There's something ethereal, something not real, but it's confusing because you're so grounded in practicality. And it's not like you're grounded in practicality. You just are so intentional and know what you need and know what you want to live your life. You're so in flow with your life and centered in yourself and in your higher self that you're able to have not only this groundedness, but also this expansive fantasy, magical inside world. For some reason, Tolkien just came into my mind, and C.S. Lewis is Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And I think that these are examples because they were people who were very grounded in their practice. When they worked on things, they took them seriously and underwent a long process, writing books, doing these things. And a lot of what they wrote about was what can't be seen. Other worlds. And I think the confidence boost for you, Pile 1, I was talking about how people perceive you. That might be kind of one of your concerns right now. But really, the truth is, you are just this innately powerful person who has been given this gift of having a foundation that you can build these worlds off of. And the reason I'm thinking of Part of Your World by Ariel, or from Ariel. I want to be where the people are. I think part of this is you want to really connect with the people around you. You want to share things with them. You just have this thirst for being a part of this world. And Spirit's telling you there's something in you that is stronger, that is something in your soul that wants you to explore other worlds as well. And this is going to keep pulling at you and pulling at you. And this is like all myths, like Greek myths, Egyptian myths, Shakespearean tales, folklore, fairy tales. Like, this is like your creations. What you're meant to give are these beautiful lights. Also, there's something about the stars. The stars might, like, literally, like, the universe, our solar system might be part of this fantasy, this whimsicalness. And whether you're living in it, experiencing it, I see that you can ground this in creative work, whether that be poetry, whether that be books or music. The thing is I'm thinking right now, there's this documentary about this guy who worked at a hospital. He was really introverted, didn't really kept to himself, and whenever he passed away, they were cleaning out his apartment, and he had built a whole world of writing and drawings of this like other world, kind of Tolkien-esque, that he had lived inside in his internal world, and it was magical and beautiful, and he created to create. And I think that's what spirits really wants you to feel confident in, is that you're meant to create these worlds, this beauty. And it was interesting, when I started off this reading, I had a little trouble entering this world, finding my footing. And maybe that's something you need to begin this work, or there's a story you're meant to tell, that the character struggles to stumble into this world. I see portals to other dimensions. I mean, closets that open up to a new world. There's something you're meant to birth into the world that's meant to be taken seriously. And I see animated things, or like animals, dogs, I don't know, things that typically wouldn't be able to communicate to display human characteristics. I see that being a part of your story. Flowers having human characteristics. I was thinking so much about flowers before your reading. So this reading's really about confidence in your craft, confidence in this mythic journey, being a woman of the cosmos. I'm feeling really drawn to this card of sharing. Sharing, being a part of this story, being a part of this narrative, internally and externally, with it being brought into life. Somebody going MIA. Yeah, a story is meant to be crafted here. Your confidence boosts that you're the one who's meant to craft it. And don't feel bad about relationships. I think you want confidence in how others perceive you. And I think you're meant to lean out of the ego and more into this beautiful creating world, because when you do that, you won't need that egoic affirmation. And I think Spirit's really asking you not to let other people's opinions, other people's judgment, negative vibrations get in the way of you reaching this success. Okay, so I want to look at tarot cards. Let's see what wants to come out for pile 1. What is their confidence boost? 10 of Swords. I see truth in this ending. 6 of Wands. I am proud of what I achieve and accept my rewards. 10 of Cups. I have all I wish for in my relationships. 5 of Swords. I will heal myself. Okay, there's something that's happening in your day-to-day life that is meant to be material for whatever you're creating. There's some creation here. And you might, who knows when you'll make it, but I think you live things very intensely so that you can have this strength in what you create. You have, I think you're tired from this last cycle. You felt things have been out of your control. Your wins, your losses, your fulfillment, your pain. It's like your story is being written, and you, maybe that's why you like to write stories, is to choose how they unfold. There's a chapter that's coming to an end right now in your life that might not have been how you wanted it to turn out, but you had emotional fulfillment in it. You had rest. You were able to heal. This was a very healing time, and you might not have had external success, but you were able to rest up, and have peaceful times. This peace can make you overthink. I think that's the thing about rest, is if you stay in a peaceful, if you don't have stimulation, often it's easy to spiral into these thought loops. And you might be feeling like you should have egoically had things happen that you would want, or are upset you had to deal with painful situations, or are thankful for relationships but don't feel. You just really analyze everything. Like you feel like you're either missing a relationship, or you feel like you don't deserve it, and like, this isn't self-pity, this is just coming to terms with life on life's terms. Yeah, I really just think this is restlessness. Feeling restless in this last chapter, seeing how things have played out, knowing things to be true, knowing that relationships are very important to you, connections, love. That's something that you want to focus on in this next chapter. You know how things played out in your past. I think you've really healed things, and it's time to move forward. And it's time to cut your losses and focus on what you have won and where you are continuing. Just gratitude, honestly. The thing is about relationships is you will hold those that matter, not matter, but those that are important near. And Your anxiety, I think this confidence boost that you need is because you are looking at this in a skewed perspective. You're looking at how others perceive you, how you connect with all people. That being what fulfillment is, that's what you think fulfillment is really, in the grand scheme of things, all people feeling just like having good connection with all people. But the truth is, you are meant to focus on intentional relationship with certain people, and you're not meant to worry about all these other things that aren't significant. I think you're being taught that right now, that you don't have to worry about these relationships that don't affect your life. You're really meant to focus on the people who love you and care for you and are important in your life. And I think you're realizing that that's what you're being taught. And yeah, I want to see what's this next cycle about? Eight of Pentacles, Queen of Swords. No nonsense, you working towards your goals. You're not letting other people, I think that this phase has made you not care what people think unless they're people you love who care for you, and working hard towards your goals, to what feels right. This woman is looking forward to the future, and I see you working on multiple things and it all coming to fruition. And this is a time of, it's been rest, but now it's a time of movement and growth. And I think you're really going to enjoy this. It's going to feel purposeful. Everything you do every day is going to feel purposeful. Okay, but this period you've been in has been one to remind you of how important rest is for your vitality. So to close, we're going to look at the archetype cards to see anything else for your confidence boost. Sugar. So yeah, I mean, I was feeling this with like those magical cards. Like, you just really do have this beautiful, sugary, special, you really do have this beautiful, special, otherworldly energy, and you're meant to embrace it, and also embrace that sometimes that just a little bit is meant to go in people's lives. You know, some people don't need that much sugar, but you are just this, people are lucky to have you. And it's not like they don't need sugar, they don't deserve it. Or it's not what's meant for them. So embrace who you are, how special you are, how sweet you are. A Russian river is just popped in my head, and I think part of your sugar, part of this beauty in you, is your movement forward. And you're meant to embrace that, continue to move forward. And even though you've been in a restful time, things are about to pick up. But they'll pick up in a very balanced way because you've had this time. You're in a very balanced energy. And the sugar reminds me of a galaxy, kind of. And in my head, I just heard, may the odds be ever in your favor. So, yeah. There's some sort of, and now I'm thinking of pixie dust, I just see some otherworldly thing that you're working on, that you're bringing to the table. So, yeah, let yourself be sweet to yourself. Let yourself have this sweetness. You're very lucky, is what's coming into my head. So this is what I'm getting for you, pile one. You are gorgeous. I would love to read or hear or really see anything you've created. If you've created any art, please link it. So this is what I'm getting for you. It's an honor to read for you. I will see you soon. Bye. Hey, pile two. This is your reading on a confidence boost. So this Orchid Agate Flame I've had for almost 4 years, and I'm obsessed with it. If you can see, it has like this crystal inside it, and yeah, it's beautiful. It's very beautiful. So let's get into your confidence boost. We have some pre-shuffled oracle cards, so we're going to look at those for the confidence boost, and then we're going to dive into tarot. And yeah, I'm really excited about this. I love being hyped up. I love hyping other people up. It's good for the soul. So first we have Keeper of the Invisibles. My mom's watching Stranger Things right now. I've watched a little bit of season 1, but I've never seen it. And that was the first thing that popped in my head when I saw this card. So then we have the Nectar. The Panther. And the Chariot. There's also this Post Malone song I was listening to. It popped up. I wasn't listening to it by choice. It popped up when I was driving, just super randomly on my songs, and it's called Morning, and the lines are "Don't want to sober up. That's why we call it morning." That makes no sense. But that's what the song is about. It's easy for me to ruminate on times where I'm not proud of who I was, or thinking about times that I used to drink, times that it's like these phantoms haunting me from my past. And this confidence boost is that you have purged everything unnecessary from that past chapter. You have fought for yourself. You have faced it like the Panther. Like, you faced the past with fierce confidence and bravery, and you have shown it that you can't be bothered by it. Like, this is like you have protected yourself from the BS of the past. And the Chariot here, I see you haven't let any pain stop you. Like, you're even more powerful for these past experiences, and you found what truly matters to you. You found what truly fulfills you, what truly lights you up. You are a much stronger person and have let those past experiences it's almost like you have become this very, very strong person that can't be messed with. That is like too powerful for, I just heard, for your own good. Like, maybe you just were too big for the situations you were in. You couldn't handle them. They just were smaller. They were like more boxed in, more egoic. And it's like, look at your life now. You are so blessed. You have so much beauty in your life. You know what is right for you. You know exactly where you're going. You know your purpose. You are strong and a fighter, and no one can mess with you. Nothing from this past. But you're still having these phantoms of fear and being haunted by times you weren't strong, times you didn't have nectar to sustain you, and you looked in the wrong places. Times that you didn't know how to move forward. It's like the opposite of what you're experiencing now, all this power. The other side of the coin, that lack of power, that pain is haunting you. It's like the shadow side of what you're experiencing. And you had to go through that shadow to get through this empowered, to get to this empowered place. But I think you need to know a lot of your demons, a lot of your phantoms, your fears, your ghosts come from this time that you have completely come out of. That you are strong, and that has no place in your life. It really is. I mean, it's invisible. It doesn't exist anymore. That time doesn't exist. And you can't blame yourself for having feelings and, being vulnerable in the past, being weak, not knowing where to go, being lost, because you had to be lost to find this path. And this version of you, this young version of you, needs love from this strong version of you, from this finding nectar version of you, because you are not that same person. And I think you're comparing yourself now, or like you're telling yourself subconsciously that you're still that person when you have flipped, you've done a 180. And as this person who has been empowered, who has changed their fate, has made the decisions to empower themselves, that version of you needs to comfort that older version of you. And I think the confidence boost here is that you're no longer that person at all. You're a complete 180. But the phantoms are coming up because that version of you needs to be healed. The fear and that pain needs to be, you need to be the comfort for that past self. Kind of nurture that past self and tell them that they will find their nectar, they will find their purpose, they will be strong, and that they are okay as they are. Because I think that version of yourself really feels not good enough. And although you've grown out of that, you feel good enough, you feel strong. Those feelings of not feeling good enough are coming up from this past version of yourself, asking you to help it release them. And this is all happening in your psyche. These feelings and this past isn't coming up to make you feel bad about yourself or bad about what you've experienced. It's coming up so you can heal that version of yourself and let it go. And I think you kind of, at least right now, since you're so attached to that version of yourself and kind of claim it as your identity now, and that's why you're so resistant to it, once you separate it from who you are now and realize you're this badass, strong person who is going towards your goals, who is stronger than you could ever have imagined back then, who knows exactly what gives you comfort, what gives you soul nectar, what gives you joy. You found what's good for you. That version of yourself is completely separate from this painful lost version. And that version needs care, needs love, because it wasn't loved in that chapter. And there's a part of in your psyche that's asking for that. And I think you've been maybe recently dealing with pain from the past, being haunted by ghosts. But these are coming up so that you, as a completely different person, separated, no longer attached to that version of your life, can love that person and tell them it's okay. What they experienced is okay. Who they are, who they were, is okay. And that they brought that version of you wouldn't exist now had that version of you not gone through those things. So in that way, you're also so grateful for that version of yourself. And I think that version needs to feel that. Yeah, it feels like Spirit's kind of saying this in a way, like the way to heal this will be by separating your strong, like completely 180 flipped version of yourself from this, so that you have the space to heal it. Because if it's too close to you, if you're too attached to it, you won't be able to heal it because you're associating it with a part of you. So, and maybe there's parts of this past chapter that it's hard to move on from. There's feelings and happiness that you experienced, but it's time to separate yourself. Give it space. And because the life you're living now is so beautiful, is so powerful, is so strong. And you're meant to live in this chapter. And there's things that need to be healed. And they can be, don't question how they're done. There might be things that you need to revisit from that past, or just give yourself love from them. But the ultimate thing you have to remember is you're in this new chapter. You have completely empowered yourself and made this new life. And nothing about your life now is anything like how it was then. So let's look at tarot. Yeah, I mean, I think there was negative energies around, like substances, gossip, like just low vibrations. You were in a low vibrational place. Ooh. So we have the Knight of Swords, the Page of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, the World, Judgment, and the Two of Swords. Yeah, so this is part of your coming to be, your self-actualizing. And really what's cool here is Spirit saying everything happened the exact way it was supposed to. This was meant to happen the way it did. Even though it gave you cuts, it gave you bruises, scars. Psychically, it brought you, it was who you needed to be to grow into this person. Like the Knight of Swords and Page of Pentacles aren't, like those are coming of age. And you might have had some impulsive traits, but you also had this hope for the future and this just anticipation for what was to come in your life. And if that version of you could see where you are now and see the beauty in your life, it would be so inspired and feel so affirmed. And I think that's something you're meant to do here, and allow yourself to have those reckless, allow yourself to forgive that energy of you that was just youthful, that was just trying to have fun, trying to navigate its way in the world. Because really, this period was you becoming balanced. This period, the reason for it was to find this balance. You had to be off balance to find balance. And no matter how you learned this lesson, it wouldn't have felt good. The Two of Swords in reverse here says, this isn't a lesson that you can get away with having unscathed. You're going to have some bruises from this. And Spirit really, I think the real thing Spirit wants to affirm is this was exactly how it was meant to happen. And it brought this beauty into your life. And the world here, it has culminated. It has finished. Spirit has let it go. And it's time for you to psychically, accept that version and also separate yourself from it. And the Two Swords here, I really feel like it's saying separating yourself from it or staying, like neither will feel good. Both will hurt. You're not meant to live as you lived then, recklessly, out of balance. You're meant to learn, like, you've been blessed so much with what the universe has brought you in this new chapter, that, and the fact you're being told to let go of this is also a blessing. You have been healed, and right now you have lingering ghosts. And that's okay. We all do. Life is like this, and the fact that you can have this closure or have this, make peace with this is really beautiful. And the fact you have this insight into your growth is also very beautiful. I mean, these cards are really standing out to me. They're so beautiful. And I think the Two of Swords here saying there was no happy way to get here. There was blood, sweat, and tears you had to go through to get here. And this is how it had to be. And you chose to get here rather than to stay unbalanced. Stay in your comfort zone. So to close, we're going to look at, oh, my stomach's grumbling. I need some food. I'm gonna eat after this pile. So, alchemical cards, what confidence boost is proud to need? So we have oil of vitriol. So this card really is, are you being the sun eaten by the tiger, or are you the tiger eating the sun? It's kind of that panther card. The panther looks a lot like this card. And you've become this, but you're identifying as that. You've become the panther. You're identifying also as the sun. Not that the sun, you're still the sun in the large sense of the word, but in this iteration of the topic, in this metaphor, you're not right-sizing yourself. You're making yourself smaller than you are. And you were allowed to feel this anger, and I think you have felt this anger and frustration at the past. You felt this. You felt all the emotions, the grief. And it's time to love that version of you. I'm thinking now of the lion and the mouse. What's that? The lion and the deer. You know that story about the lion and the small animal that become friends and love each other. It's like you need to merge these two parts of you and love these two parts of you and care for them. There's a pile in a reading I did years ago that's on my channel, Autumn Messages, that talks about balancing these parts of yourself. And I don't know if it in any way connects to this reading. Might not, but it's what I thought of. So a couple other cards fell on the ground. We'll look at them. We have the Sun and Quicksilver. That's so funny that came out. Spirit's affirming you are the sun, you are this strong, powerful person. This metaphor meant nothing. I think that's so funny. And that Spirit is going to continue to connect with you, work with you. I think part of you also is worried that when you let this go, where you really needed Spirit and you needed this advice, you're worried that when you let that go, you let go of some of your communication with Spirit. And that's not the case at all. You're going to continue to be just as connected, just as, I'm seeing this as a crystal ball, kind of connected to the ball. So don't associate this with your connection with Spirit, because Spirit was there, but it has no. You're not losing Spirit in any sense of the word by letting go of this past chapter. So, pile 2, this was really cool. I definitely needed to hear this. I hope it helps. It does make me feel more confident, honestly. So, have a great rest of your day or night, and I will see you soon. Bye. Hey, pile 3, if you chose this in July crystal, then this is your reading on a confidence boost. So let's get into it. We're going to look at oracle cards first, and then we'll jump into the tarot. So we have Keeper of Play, the Maiden, the Chariot, and the Elk. Okay, so I think people really idolize you. I think they think you are like this really fun, vibrant person who is fierce and protective, and also is able to enjoy like exciting things of life, and also has like an extremely strong drive. I think people really respect how passionate you are and how good you are at moving towards your goals. And I think what people really admire is how you aren't stressed about your goals, you have fun towards your goals. And I think maybe you get upset about maybe being belittled in your life or people treating you unfairly. And I'm seeing that you have really cultivated this no nonsense, I'm a strong, independent person, and I'm beautiful, and I have very high standards, and people must meet them. You won't suffer fools. You're no longer naive. You know how to protect yourself, and you're still like, yeah, you know how to protect yourself. You're strong and can move fast towards your goals. I think you're also just very determined. Like, you won't stop until you get what you're going for. And I think you've learned how to use this in a really beneficial, strong way. And yeah, there's a fire and electricity in you that people notice. And yeah, this confidence boost is really looking at how people perceive you. This year pile specifically, I'm seeing that people really just find you playful and just like a free spirit in the way that they feel like they can't be. It's honestly like people are comparing themselves to you, how you are reserved and boundaried and You only take the highest, best treatment from people. And I don't know, I'm just seeing that people really see you as this like beautiful person who guards themselves well, and romantically especially doesn't let in people who don't deserve them or deserve you. And you, yeah, you're able to take care of yourself. You're very independent and strong, and you know what you want. And there's this ability for you to achieve things and have fun. Like, I don't know. It's like this, it's almost as though these people are achieving things and it's exhausting and hard on them and drains them, but they see you doing it and it energizing you. And they just see you as like your inner child's very cultivated. I think really, I think people are jealous of your build, like your self-contained nature. You're really independent. You and confident in yourself and knowing of your worth. And you don't need external validation to prove that. If anything, your internal validation, this knowing, is what propels you forward. It's not external things, it's this inner drive. And that's what's so cool. And that is what is so beautiful, is like that can't be taken away from you. People might use other things to motivate them, and external things like people, places, things. And if those things fall away, they've lost that self-assuredness, like having external self-esteem based on things outside of yourself, and you find it within yourself. So nothing's going to stop you whenever you want something. And I think your goals and what you want out of life is really joyful things. You value happiness, and you value treating yourself kindly. You really value yourself and protecting yourself. And people see this about you. People really see these things. And I think that this might even be the confidence boost, is you feeling like you don't know how people from your past perceive you, or you just feel, I don't know, maybe you're just having a day where you need clarity on how others perceive you. And I guess the confidence boost here is that people are really respect you. And I don't want to say jealous of you, but almost wistful of wanting to have that lightness of spirit, and that, like, it's almost like they want to live like you do. They are happy with their lives. I'm definitely seeing that. But they really respect and think it would be awesome to be you, if that makes sense. Just as you innately are as a person. And it feels like you really turn things on their toes. Like, people expect you're just like an underdog who people underestimate, and then you always come back and dominate. And you don't mind being underestimated, because you always, like, you know that things will work out in the end. It's like, you know, because you have a pure heart and you know your karma is good, you take action with good intent, you know things will work out. And yeah, there's just a pureness of heart here that allows you to interact with the world and things outside of yourself in this way. Yeah, and even when I started your reading, I kind of wanted to leave. Like, I just kind of was like, I don't know, there's a feeling I sometimes get that's like, okay, like, let's this situation, we're done, let's move on to this, or like, let's leave this room for another room. I hope that makes sense. But I think people see that in you is that you won't stay somewhere if you don't feel comfortable. And once I started getting into your energy, I was like, okay, like, I think I was in your energy being like, oh, I don't know if I really want to hear what these people have to hear or have to say. It was like kind of like you being a little wanting, just not. I think that the point here is that you aren't easily accessible. You are very self protective, and it's to protect your peace and to protect like the way you're headed. And I don't know, it's like you live in this like mystical tree in the woods and people want to like knock on it and see what you're doing, and you're just like in your own world in this way that other people feel like is kind of dreamlike. People definitely romanticize your life, and yeah, I'm just seeing a lot of respect for your strength. And I mean, I guess this confidence boost is more geared towards external perspective. I I think internally what I can say for your confidence boost is you've done a lot of work on yourself. You've really done what you needed to do to protect yourself and protect your inner child primarily so that you can live this fun life. And I think you're cautious with going towards goals because you do so with respect towards your inner child, knowing that you need to be able to like continue having this peace towards them as you go towards them. And yeah, there's definitely that elk gives like kind of father energy. I think you've reparented yourself in a beautiful way. Yeah, there's just a very strong energy of being grounded in your masculine and feminine qualities and having a balanced level between them. My cat's purring in the background if you hear her. Yeah, I think people also find you like really cultured and like you see a lot of things and you're very knowledgeable. Like if they bring up a topic, you're gonna know about it. But like I think you keep this all close to your chest. Like I think you have your cards close to your chest, and like for some reason, and I don't like this analogy because I feel like princess, this kind of stuff is so sexist and patriarchal, but I see you as like a person in a tower that people want like look at from afar and wonder what's going on. And it's like you keep your distance, but people want to be able to like see what's going on. And maybe you don't really show that. But when they do get a peek, it's you choosing what you want from your life, you being strong in yourself. I really do think you aren't accessible easily. I think you're pretty hard to grasp. Like you're a free spirit. People don't know if you're going to stay or you're going to go. And that definitely makes people cherish their time with you more. You're really headed strong places, like awesome places, but you're doing it with love and care for yourself. So you're not going to like do anything for the sake of power or success if it abandons your inner child, if it hurts you. You're only going to seek it out or go towards it if it accepts and makes room for like the pureness of your heart and doesn't conflict with that. Yeah. You're making sure the situations that you go into are safe and protected. Yeah. There might be situations like in the past where you, I don't know, I'm like thinking like trusted the wrong person or just were hurt by a space that you thought you were safe in. And that's how you found this protective self-containment. But you found it for the sake of your pureness and happiness. And that was the part of you that you wanted to protect, even subconsciously. That's what you realized was in danger of, like, your soul. Really, it's your soul of being hurt. So you have properly created a psychic space for your soul that's really warm and happy and like a girl swinging in the trees. So yeah. Also, I thought the time would be way shorter, but I've been talking for a while, and I think that people lose track of time with you. Okay, let's look at the tarot cards. What confidence boost do we have for pile 3? We have the Hanged Man, the 8 of Wands, the Knight of Wands in reverse, the Page of Cups, the Queen of Wands, and the Page of Swords in reverse. Your confidence boost is definitely that you don't let others' negative energy get you down, and you choose to be in high vibrational, happy energies. You have been able to realize in your life what kind of person you want around you and what hurts you, what doesn't. You've been very intentional in discerning what's right for you. And there's negative energies that have been around you that have hurt you. And because of realizing what those were, you're able to discern what is good for you now. And with this perspective, I think you're also able to see that those things served a purpose because it brought you to your ultimate fulfillment. Because you've experienced that before, you get to live a life of fulfillment with other people now. And you've learned not to put other people before yourself, not to spend time with people who are really superficial or gossipy or mean. You really look at people's values and know, is their goal to be happy too? Or is their goal to find joy and be joyful and bring it to others? And I think you're continuing to find that and continuing to find like this happy vibration, and it's entering your life in a lot of ways and a lot of people. And Spirit's really saying here that you know energetically what energy aligns with you, what aligns with this joy. And a good way of thinking about it, I see the situation another way. When someone doesn't align, or like instead of putting it on you, just realize that your energy is attracting this youthful, happy, young at heart, light energy. And that also comes from people who've experienced difficulty and hardship and chosen to focus on the good side and focus on happiness. And so, like, the people you're drawing around here are these really wise, high vibrational people. And I think it's important to realize if people you expected to come around aren't, that says nothing about you. It just, you have to remember what kind of energy you're attracting in and be loving towards yourself about this, because I think still it can be hard sometimes when friendships don't work out, when people don't work out, to blame yourself. And sometimes it's just like you're not compatible and you're on different paths, and you'll know who is on your wave. So to close, we're going to look at the alchemy cards. Let's see, is there any more confidence boost for pile 3? Okay, we'll take this one. Copper. I think you glow soulfully, and your aura just has this glow to it. There's something about the clothes you wear here and how they brighten you, and also just the things you make, the intention you have with the art you make, with the friendships you have, with how you live your life. You live it knowing that you want to craft it like into this sacred thing. Like, we can call it copper. Like, you know, copper is the ultimate fulfillment for you, the ultimate happiness, the ultimate soul food. And so all of your relationships and your art and the books you read and the poems you write, etc., etc. all your purpose in it is to turn them into this copper. And that can look like an infinite amount of ways, but it's to be this soul food for you, this like absolute sublimeness. So I think that even though they're in a multitude, a crazy amount of ways, in completely different forms, it's this you're trying to create, and it's what you innately are. So remember that you are this. You're creating this outside of yourself because it is you. Oh, wow, this is a really cool reading, Pile 3. I hope it resonated. I wish you the best, and I will see you soon. Bye. Hey, Pile 4, if you chose the red carnelian, then this is your reading on a confidence boost. So we're going to see why you should feel confident. So yeah, we'll go into, I have pre-shuffled some oracle cards. We'll go into those, and then we'll dive into the tarot. So first we have Keeper of Receiving. And for a second, I thought it said perceiving. So then we have the Tower, the Scorpion, and the Venom. So your confidence boost is about how you have so much power and you've cultivated so much power. And it's funny that a red stone is here for this, because red is a color that reminds me of that. But what I see is that you are so strong and have the power to influence your life in so many ways. I think not only have you worked to become this powerful, but you've received this power from Spirit. You've let Spirit tell you how to be receptive to this, how to be wise and like know what way to go so that you can have this power. There's some, for some reason, limitless is coming to my mind, which is wild. I think really your confidence boost is you were meant to fight back against the injustices in your life. You were meant to call a spade, and you were meant to really like allow yourself to be angry and allow yourself to fight and choose what you receive from people. If you don't like what you're receiving, you say no. You know when things are bad for you. You really do. And you know when things are destructive. You know exactly what's a wrong turn. So you are the keeper of receiving in the sense that it's like you're at this gate and you get to choose what comes through this gate. So embarrassingly, one of my guilty pleasures is Love Island. I can't believe I'm saying this. And I watched Love Island UK, and there was a girl who always said, I don't want to take them down the garden path, meaning like I don't want to lead them on. And I think you won't let yourself be led on by things that aren't right for you. You believe in this garden path, you believe that you can go down this beautiful ideal path. And to do that, you need to be hyper aware of the wrong turns. Yeah, so I talk about this book all the time, but it's by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. She's a doctor of psychology. She's a Jungian psychoanalyst, so she really believes in Carl Jung's archetypal principles. And yeah, I just resonate a lot with her perspective on life. And she talks about in one of the stories she analyzes, it's about this girl who has made these red shoes. She's made them all by herself, and like they don't look like the most amazing, like perfect red shoes, but they're hers, and that's what's fulfilling, is that she was able to make it. And in came this gilded carriage that promised her like the perfect red shoes at the cost of being silenced, at the cost of being disempowered. And then she wasn't supposed to wear the red shoes. And it ended in these red shoes dominating her life because she wasn't able to build on her own. She wasn't able to create a life for her own. She was tricked into a life that stifled her soul. And there's the big thing about it is, well, it ends with her not being able to take the red shoes off and dancing away in them and not being able to stop dancing. Another way that this can be described is, and it's described in the book, is Janis Joplin, succumbing to drugs and being so addicted that it ended up killing her. And that being red shoes in a sense, because it's the trap of feeling like this will be what makes me feel better. This is what will help my soul. When she just talks about like there's like a million ways for the soul to be sucked out, or they're traps for the soul. Which can be that gilded carriage, which can be drugs and alcohol and these like illusions that stifle the soul. And Anyway, the reason I brought up her book was because she says the only way you can know the right turns is to know the wrong turns. You are well versed in the wrong turns. You've seen what's wrong for you. If that gilded carriage of making life easier, of trading your soul and your creativity and spark of life for an easier way of life, like being tricked into being submissive by being offered something that looks good on paper or looks golden. Just like basically all of this is the protecting of your soul, the protecting of your life force. And there's so many things in this world that will take that away or will trap it or there's just so many things like in us and out of us that want to cause us pain and destroy our red shoes that we've built on our own. And I just see these red shoes as like everything is like my handcrafted life. Like I've crafted this beautiful life of soulful friends and doing things for myself that are soulful, just feeling so stimulated in how I live my life. And an easy example of this, like me stifling my soul, would be me marrying someone because of their wealth or taking a job just because it's more glamorous, and my soul reacting to those things and being like, no, don't do that. But me choosing the easier path, or what looks like the easier path, but then it would have just trapped me. So this is really listening to the soul, and that's what I see you doing. You really choosing what you receive and being a strong fighter for yourself and not letting those things come in. And I think people look at your life and they're like, wow, she's so positive, or he's so positive, or they're so positive. They just have this light and people just kind of envy it and also discredit it because they're like, oh, she just, or they just don't, they're just naive. They don't see things. They don't have perspective on life. When in reality, you have endured a lot of lessons to bring you this perspective of lightness. And the thing is those people are letting in these negative energies that stifle the soul. And you've realized what are these negative energies, what they are, and you don't let them in. So the reason you have this lighter energy is because you don't let in the wrong energies. It's not like you have some special energy that no one else has. You're able to protect your energy and uplift your soul. And most people in the current day world, and just everything that's being thrown at us in the media and in capitalism and in the patriarchy, and it goes on, and it's so easy to buy into beliefs that are self-harming or be self-abusive because that's a norm, or just normalizing the abnormal. And your soul and you, even on a subconscious level, are picking out these things. You're able to discern what is of this painful nature and setting it away from you. And it's interesting because I think people look at it from a warped angle where they're like, or like it's easy to look at it like this light you have just being brought in by light, but it's because you keep out this darkness. And it isn't necessarily, it's just like, even like, you know, those, this is so silly, I'm describing it like this, but the things that drain out pasta, you put the watered pasta in the thing and all of the water comes out into the bowl and the pasta is kept up here. It's like you are receiving this water. The pasta is that negative, painful energy that causes this strife and difficulty, and you are able to collect it without letting it come through. And this is because you've created this guard, you've created this drainer by seeing what poisons the water, what poisons your well. You don't let in like these outside forces that could break your foundation. And you're not scared to fight to keep this sovereignty. Yeah. Okay, for some reason the Breakfast Club is coming up. Don't you forget about me. Yeah. You leave a mark, you leave an imprint on the places you go, what you experience. So let's look at the tarot confidence boost for pile 4. We have the Hanged Man, Knight of Wands, Queen of Wands. Okay, this is interesting. There's different layers of you that you are able to reflect on, and kind of, it's like you're able to really not put things in boxes, but you're able to discern this from that. You're able to organize sort of parts of yourself, and it's not like in a disparate way of like pulling them apart. It's like they're all part of the same thing, but you're able to separate them to the degree that you're able to analyze them and give them more nuanced attention. I think really what you have to be proud of in your life and in your reflection, and because of those wrong turns you have faced, I think you really were on a path of needing to empower yourself and find this, like, I'm a bad bee. Like, I'm a cool person. I want to cuss so bad, but I feel like YouTube won't like that. But like, F what YouTube thinks, honestly. God damn it. Okay. So I think you were scared to take risks during that time. What you should be so proud of is your risk taking now, and your ability to act on passion and act with trust in it, and act from this fire rather than being scared of the fire. You let yourself be it. You fully have become this. It's just like, I'm thinking about how those red shoes, when she first made them, they weren't like the best shoes. They weren't perfectly made, but they were beautiful because she was the one who made them. It's like you continue to make yours and continue to try creating different shoes and doing them autonomously, and then all of a sudden it's like you reached this mastery where like a fire erupted around your shoes that stays lit and doesn't burn the shoes. And I just think you see how empowered you've become, how, confident in your identity and in your creative identity. Definitely. I think you're going to be making some creative decisions. You're going to feel really intuitively led, like the urge will be very strong. And because you have this confidence in yourself, because you do this with such confidence, you just like you are reaching a new level of external material success because you believe so much in the person you've become, in what you have been able to become because of your soul force. And it's because you've loved all parts of you and taken intentional care for different parts of you. Loving your shy side, loving your scared side, loving all of these things, all of the shadow elements, being able to look at them and also like know not to let in things that will hurt those parts of you. It's like you care for those versions of you and you don't want, just like you have empathy for yourself. So we're gonna look at some alchemical cards to close on your confidence boost. So what does 5-4 need to know in their confidence boost? Okay, we're gonna do the first one. Why salt? This couldn't be more perfect. What you've experienced, it's created this wisdom. And what's cool about this too is like if you think of wise salt as an object outside of yourself, you're able to give this to other people. This wisdom, this ability to see in all of these different perspectives. I mean, like that, this looks like a prism of light out of a lens that you're able to see in all these different ways. And you offer this to people, and it's because of what you've been through. And yeah, I feel like maybe sometimes your power is generalized in a sense that is harmful because it's so nuanced in the sense that you have learned how to create this like shield around you, force field. And it's from this acute level of discernment and knowing what is right, because you're gonna get both, and so it's so important you're able to be aware of this. And I think it's really hard for people to find that awareness of, because it's just subconscious a lot of the time, of what's holding you back, what's the the issue. And because of this work you've done, you've been able to craft the eye where you can see that or feel it or hear it. Yeah. So this is your confidence boost, pile 4. I felt swept up in it. I Spirit's really passionate about you and about your potential and about how, limitless kept coming to my head. Like, as long as you act in this way and continue to build this muscle and trust in it, beautiful things will continue to happen. So that's what I'm getting for you. It was an honor to read for you, and I will see you soon.